Hey, Uncle Henry, how are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great. What do you think about this turnout?
I'm shocked at it. I really am. I couldn't believe that people would actually show up at Cooper Riverside Park on a work day.
Give us some of your views. We'd love to hear them.
Some of my views. Well, I'm in agreement with everything that's been said here today. I'm a big fan of less government and more freedom, and that's what I'm here for: is less government intrusion into our lives, less tinkering by the government to affect our lives. Just think that we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think we can run our lives fine on our own, don't you?
I think so, too. It's amazing what some of us baby boomers went through without regulation, and we lived.
We did. We lived without a lot of these different things, but now we seem to be property of the government, and I'm sick of it.
I agree. I mean, sometimes you want to think back in 1979 when Hurricane Frederick hit. We didn't have Homeland Security or FEMA. Do you remember that? We didn't have anybody come down here and really help us besides the state National Guard.
How did we ever survive
I don't know.
without all these different agencies?
I don't know.
How did we ever have art without the National Endowment for the Arts? How did we ever have schools without the Department of Education? It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It is. Well, thank you so much for everything that you've done to help get this gathering together in Mobile, Alabama. And I think it's marvelous that tell us about the organizers real quick.
They're little children. They're very young. They are under the age of 30, so they really don't know much about life in general. I'm just amazed and shocked that they've been able to pull something like this together. I'm very proud of them. They've got a bright future ahead of them.
So did they contact you, or?
Yes, they did. They annoyed me repeatedly with irritable, on the internet and phone messages, and finally I did return their calls.
Aren't you glad you did?
Yes, more or less.
Do you remember their names?
Nikki and Josh.
I think it's fabulous that Mobile, Alabama has the two youngest founders in the nation.
It is wonderful, and how is it that we've never met? You remind me, you're like a very, very young Dot Moore. She is.
That's a sideways compliment.
No, you're a very young, Dot Moore, and I think she's a broadcasting giant. Come on now.
I was a product of two educators. They taught me how to ask questions when I didn't know the answers to them.
Well, that's good. And I was a product of working at different radio stations where I was told when I was hired, always have an answer, even if you don't know the answer, come up with one, or else.
I'm not that quick on my feet.
Well, neither am I.
Thank you, Uncle Henry.
Thank you, Dot. It's been a pleasure.